Hello and welcome to the Graham Guild. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new to me, my name is Brittany Verlenich. I'm a content strategist, social media manager, total marketing nerd. I'm also the host of the Social Media Magic podcast. So if you aren't already listening to that's another great free resource for you. You can go and binge and learn and listen while you're in the car, while you're doing things. It's a great resource for you. So many good interviews on there too that you can learn from. Anyway, you're in the Graham Guild. You joined for a reason. I want to share a very quick story of how this membership came to be. Sometimes you just have one of those light bulb moments where you realize a problem that you've been solving for your clients has been right there in front of your face the whole time, and you just hadn't been able to articulate it yet. And that is exactly what happened with this. I had recently signed on a new client for social media management, for content creation, and I realized that her one stipulation was not getting her face to camera. When I think of all the things I've learned from social media coaches, from influencers, content creators, social media marketing, digital marketing gurus over the years, it was build a brand with your audience, as in build a personal brand, put your face out there, show up online, make yourself known, get visible, get loud. I'm sure you've heard a variation of something like that, and you might have even heard me say something like that. And to a degree, it's still true. We do want for our business to be visible. We want for our brand to be visible. We want for our skills, our expertise, our topical authority to be very visible and out there. But what if that didn't mean our faces had to show? Once I had that little light bulb flicker on, it just turned into a wildfire and then something that I just couldn't stop. And the more I started talking to other online business owners, to digital creators, to online shop owners, Etsy, Teachers Pay Teachers, Amazon KDP, authors, these people who, one of the reasons they were drawn to this whole online business world was that they didn't want to have to mingle. They didn't want to have to do in-person networking. They didn't want to have to gussy up and get ready. They wanted to be able to live in their pajamas most of the time, to not have to put makeup on, to not have to get camera ready. And once I realized that, oh, this is something I've already been doing for my clients. I've already been helping them craft social media strategies to create compelling content that attracts leads and customers and sales passively. But I didn't realize that was one of the common threads that was really tying all of my different clients together, even though some were in the travel space, like travel bloggers and travel influencers and travel agents. Some were TPT sellers, creators on Teachers Pay Teachers, also on Etsy. And so the question is, can you create a compelling brand on Instagram, one that attracts followers, that attracts new leads and sales, that sells your digital products passively, or maybe some services as well, without you having to show up and show your face? And my answer is yes. And I'm sure that you're looking at this visual right now. If you are watching, you might be listening, depending on when you're tuning in and what kind of access to resources you have, because I do plan to have a private podcast. And perhaps if you're listening to it, that means I was successful. I was able to get that up and running and convert all of my content to audio. But as of right now, I'm showing on the screen a picture of the sales page. And when we're talking about creating content and creating visuals that don't deal with our personal brand in our face, one thing we're really doing is we're teaching with whatever visuals we have. Now, we do want to make things as visually interesting as possible. I'm going to be talking you through really what the Graham Guild is, what you can expect, what the vibe is, and I'm going to use the sales page, which you likely saw already, to walk and talk you through it. So it's going to act somewhat as a visual aid, and also this is meta because what I'm doing in itself, if you're watching and paying attention, is also what you can do in your own compelling faceless content. And by the way, even though I'm focusing on Instagram here, thus the Graham Guild, this same set of skills that you're learning and that you're going to be practicing as you advance in the guild are things that you can transfer to YouTube, to podcasting, to blogging. What's funny is when I think about the world of social media and Instagram specifically as it is right now, it's honestly all pretty new. Short form video, as we know it, Instagram Reels, TikToks, YouTube Shorts, who knows what else will be out by the time you watch or listen to this. That's all only within the last couple of years. Content that was faceless actually stands the test of time. Books, letters. When we think of the different collections of historical first sources we have, yes, we have some photos, and yes, we have some video, but for a much longer period of time, people were able to impact the world and leave a mark based on their work, their collective body of work, and their words. And I believe that compelling, well-written words have a great place in today's society, and I think if you wield your words wisely, you are going to stand out in a way that others won't, because many people are going to copy and paste AI. They're not putting the work and energy into it. But you're here, you are drawn to my whimsy, my fun, my love for words and copywriting. And I'm guessing that if you're here, you have all of that too. So let's dive in. What is the Graham Guild? The Graham Guild is a membership dedicated to helping you get more followers on Instagram with faceless content. So getting more followers on Instagram without showing your face. And you might have noticed if you did go through the sales page, I had a running theme through the whole thing of magic and wizardry and sparkles and kind of mysticism. Some of this is a play to the fact that when we are crafting a social media strategy, whether it's on Instagram or any other platform, honestly, sometimes you do feel like you're just looking into a crystal ball, sticking some magical spaghetti on the wall and seeing what happens. But we do want to be strategic, and we can anticipate things in the future by looking at data and by looking backwards at past behaviors and results, and then making a plan based on that. It's not always going to work. Sometimes we will just be making strategic, smart guesses. But that's what we're going to be doing together. We're going to help you get more followers on Instagram without ever showing your face. Are you excited? So the goal of this membership is to help you get more followers on Instagram and build your email list at the same time. This part is really important. We do not just want to get more followers on Instagram for followers' sake. That is in itself a vanity metric. It can be helpful to have more followers. There's a type of social proof that's built there, and it shows proof of concept for whatever it is you're selling or doing, whether you have a personal brand or not. It's good to have more followers. At the end of the day, honestly, sales and lead generation, it's a numbers game. So the more people you have in your audience overall, the more people you have to sell to. And that is true no matter what your business model is, no matter what niche you're in, no matter who you're selling to. While we're doing that, we're also collectively growing your audience. And when you think about that, they all go together, right? And if you're strategic, you should be cross-pollinating everything. Your email list, if you have a YouTube channel, any subscribers you have there, which by the way, you can have a faceless YouTube channel too. We just somehow made this collective rule that we have to show our face to create quality content, but it's not really true. And I think that by your results, you're going to be proving to yourself that's true too. If we have a YouTube channel audience, that naturally flows into our Instagram following. And we do want those multiple touch points. It's just the reality of the current digital world that we live in. We need to be able to interact with someone in multiple different ways, in different modalities, audio, video, all of that. But the cool thing is you can use video without showing your face. Now you get to choose on Instagram. There are different platforms and features, and we're going to be learning more about the platform itself over time. But there's more than one way to create content, and a reel is just one type of content. And even with a reel, you can make faceless reels. So you can decide right now that you're not going to do any reels. You can just decide that you will only do faceless reels. You get to decide. Instagram is just a tool. It's a platform. We get to choose how we use the features. But by doing this, by growing your audience, we can attract things like book deals, like dream podcast spots on those shows that you really want to get on, and paid speaking opportunities. I know that many of you might be a little bit shy, and maybe being on a stage isn't something that you ever want in your future, and that's totally fine. But I know some amazing authors and paid speakers who don't show their face on Instagram. In fact, I have a few clients who have sold millions of dollars in digital products, and they have never shown their face. In fact, some of them have less than 200 followers on Instagram. So that just goes to show that growing your Instagram following is not everything. It is not strictly indicative of your success, but it is something that can get you more opportunities. If you want to get invited to conferences, if you want to get invited to those high-level masterminds, if you want to make connections that maybe it would have been harder for you to do before because you were succeeding in silence, being able to amplify your mastery on Instagram is going to help you with that. This is a big one too. I find that I have worked with a lot of people who are not just wanting to build a personal brand that grows and lives and dies with them. There are so many strengths and advantages to that. I have a personal brand. If you go on Instagram at Brittany Verlenich, I do have a personal brand. I personally don't mind showing my face. However, my clients do. And so I've learned a lot of strategies for them and for you that don't require that. And for me, if I ever go to sell my business, I'm going to have a hard time because one of those natural questions that someone is going to have is, if I buy your business, can it succeed without you? Because it seems like your business is built around you and your personality, which it is. There are strengths and there are disadvantages to that. So with this faceless content strategy, you're building a brand and a business that is built to scale and to sell. So if you know that you want to have an exit plan, that you don't want to be doing whatever it is that you're doing forever, then this is perfect for you. You're in the right place. By being in the Graham Guild, you're going to be saving a lot of time. Now, I will say that since you are building a completely new set of skills, since you are taking on a completely new and different approach to using social media and growing your audience on Instagram, it's probably going to take a little bit longer at first than it would before because you're learning new things. You're new. Anytime you're new at something, it's going to take a little longer. It's going to be a little bit harder, maybe even more frustrating than the way you've been doing it before. But if you came here, I'm trusting that you made this executive decision from an informed and encouraged and empowered place. And if you came here, it's because something is missing. Something hasn't been working. Something drew you in. And I really do think part of that is the desire for time freedom, because I know that's a big part of my life and my brand. So you're going to save a lot of time over time once you understand and learn how to batch create content, how to automate what doesn't need to be you. There are so many tools and things out there, even specifically for Instagram, to help you automate certain processes so you don't have to be doing all of this stuff by yourself, because doing all of these things by yourself on your own, that is a surefire path to burnout. You'll also learn how to schedule content both on the platforms natively and with third-party tools. So just to explain what that means, Instagram itself has ways for you to schedule right there directly on the platform. You can also use Meta Business Suite, which is in the Facebook dashboard under your Facebook business page, if you have that connected to your Instagram account. If you don't know what I'm saying right now, that's okay. Choose not to be overwhelmed. You will learn everything you need to know in due time, okay? Everything in due time. But we have those tools, and then you also have other third-party tools you might have heard about before, which are like Publer, Metrocool, and Later Plan. Those are all different things you can use in conjunction with Instagram. And again, we will go over all of those things in the future, so don't worry, don't feel rushed, start from where you are. Over time, you're also going to be saving a lot of money on fancy equipment, on the latest iPhone. You do not need it. When you are crafting compelling visuals that stop the scroll, is it helpful to have a high quality camera, to have a phone with a great camera lens? Absolutely, it is helpful. But the downside of marketing is that it often convinces us to spend more money than we really need to or have the business to be doing, especially with where we are in business. I don't want people going into debt over trying to build a business. It's not necessary. Most of the information is out there for free. You're not paying for information. You're paying for a shortcut, and you're paying to implement, to take action, for coaching and for guidance, for support, and for resources. That's why you're here. And by doing that, by spending a little bit more time now on the front end, you're going to get more customers, and I'm so excited for you. You're probably also here because you're sick of doing everything on your own, right? It can be really hard when you're in the beginning middle of your business, because you're often in this place where you're not making enough money to hire out help yet, right? You can't hire a virtual assistant on a recurring basis. You can't afford a social media manager. And so you're between a rock and a hard place where you maybe don't have the skills to execute everything successfully on your own. Maybe you're still working full time, so you don't have all the time that you would need to be able to execute these things. And then even if you did have the time and the money, you're maybe not even quite sure what it is you're supposed to be doing. And you've been hearing so many different things from all these different kinds of coaches and experts that you're not even sure what's correct anymore, or if information that you have is outdated. You might even taken some courses before, or joined some memberships, or tried some things, and nothing has worked. And so you have this little nagging idea in the back of your mind that, if I've tried this and I've tried that and nothing has worked, this probably isn't going to work either. I will say it is so normal for those thoughts to come up. Don't be so hard on yourself. We're building new skills. We're building new habits. We're reinforcing our strong mindset, and that is going to take some time and a little bit of mental work. It's also an adjustment going from being a lone wolf, solo adventurer, solopreneur, to now joining a community of people who are on the same path. When we think of a guild, I named it like this for a reason. A guild is a group of people who have a specific common goal in mind, a professional one. When we think of like the medieval times, right? There was a Knights Guild, there was the Scientist Guild. I'm sure they had different fancier names, but they are these professional organizations, and that's something that is sorely lacking in the online business space. So community is a big part of it. It's a big part of my own personal values. I believe in the power of community so much. If we want to have that encouragement to keep going, if and when things get hard, because they will, we need to be able to lean on a community that's supportive and that gets it. As the membership grows, the community will get bigger and better and more robust over time. But if you do happen to be in here while it's small, that is a gift too, because if there are only a few of you when you're joining, you get to build those intense, deep, rich relationships, those intimate relationships that are great. Do you hear that? That's my cat now. She's going to go running crazy around the house. So if you are with me for a while in any kind of capacity, you're eventually going to hear her. Her name is Biddy. She's so cute. I also call her Patchy. Either name. Okay, so let's get talking about the actual things you can expect, the different features. I know I named a lot of cute names here, and I did try to explain what all of them were, but just in case we're unclear, I want to make sure you know exactly what you're going to get and what you can expect from this membership. The actual deliverables will likely change over time. I was going to say they might, but they almost definitely will, because I'm going to learn and grow and change, and over time your needs are going to change, and I'm going to be always constantly listening and observing you all and seeing what it is you want and need, and then adjusting in real time. But I can tell you, based on what I know about you and your businesses, this is what you're going to have now. We're really going to focus on not just increasing the follower count of your Instagram, but also the engagement. We're going to position you as a thought leader. That doesn't mean that you have to be creating reels. It doesn't mean you have to put your face on stories. However, the words you say, the message that you have should be so crystal clear, diamond sharp, that we are attracting the right people who are going to resonate with your message and repelling the ones who won't. We do not want you taking on any kind of client work with people who are not a good fit for you. That's not the best for them. It's not the best for you. And the same thing for products. We want it to be really abundantly clear to someone else whether or not they want or need something that you have to offer. And if they are not a qualified lead for you, then we want for them to opt themselves out, because that is going to save you time and money over time. Just for example, if you're paying for ManyChat is one of those tools I do recommend for automation. If you have under 1,000 followers, ManyChat is free. Now, ManyChat is great because it automates your DMs, your direct messages. It also automates some of your comments, and that is fabulous. But if you get a whole bunch of bots following you, or people who aren't actually really interested in you, what you have to say, maybe because you went into a Facebook group and said, let's do an Instagram follow for follow, which if you did that before, it's okay. We're going to do better now though. But we don't want to be paying for people in the long run who aren't actually interested in us or what we have to offer. So we're only going to attract people who are actually interested in our products, in our services. It is so tempting for ego to want to try to get everybody for everything, and so that we get the big numbers, but I promise you that doesn't matter as much as you think it does. We're also going to be wearing our invisibility cloaks. Now, I know in the online space, we usually hear about getting visible, but we actually don't all need to be super visible. If you are not building a personal brand, if you are not trying to be the next Tim Ferriss or the next, I don't even know, I'm trying to think of who a big influencer is. If you're not wanting that, you don't have to go for that. You really don't. We want for you to be known for your work. We want for your brand to be noticed. In fact, a really good book that really fits the philosophy behind this whole membership is So Good They Can't Ignore You, I think is the title of the book. It's really good though. It just talks about being so well known by what you produce and what you create that you become known for that. It's not about how pretty you are, how you look, how you talk. It's about what you produce. So what we're really doing is we are becoming known for our words and our work. Okay, so deliverables. You're going to have an ever-growing content library where you can literally steal the copy. Now, I don't recommend doing this forever. I usually actually don't like most content memberships because I don't feel like they really help the participant. If you have ever been in education, you've probably heard of the idea of learned helplessness, where people are unintentionally taught to rely on or become dependent upon their teacher, their instructor, their professor. I don't want for that to happen here. I don't want for you to always be looking for the next set of templates, the next one funnel that's going to change your life. That's all just marketing. It's not true. I know it's weird for a marketing person to say, but unfortunately, many people have been really maliciously we're going to start there because we have to start from where we are. And maybe you do just need to take some swipe files, copy them, tweak them, paste them. But eventually, the transformation I have in mind for you is that you can really take this and run with it on your own. If you want to be a solopreneur, there's my cat getting close to the mic. She's so cute, little squeaks. If you want to be a company of one, you totally can. If you want to take what you learn and then eventually hire a virtual assistant, you totally can. If you want to hire a social media manager, take this on all for you so you don't have to worry about it ever again. Maybe that is the path you go down. And as we go through the Graham Guild, month by month, you'll get more content delivered and we'll address different topics on Instagram. You'll see the different paths that are available to you and it'll become more clear because no matter what you do, you want to understand how the platform works and what it's requiring, what the needs are. So that way, if you do hire, you know who to hire and how to hire. And if you decide to do it yourself, then you know what works and what doesn't. So either way, this is where we start. We start by learning what good copy is, what makes good content, how does the platform work, and then we can go and grow from there. We are also going to talk about ways that you can use AI. Now, I know that this is a very divisive topic, and so you might choose entirely for your brand and your values that you do not want to use AI at all, and that is fine. My only caution for you is if you do that, which you might choose to do that, just know you're probably going to spend more money and time over time, because now you're paying people, if you eventually do scale, you're paying someone to now do that all themselves, and that might be your choice and you might be happy with that. So with the AI thing, I'm going to be including some prompts, and with prompts, it's really just to help you get the AI to sound more like you. We don't just want to copy and paste what it gives us. That's why you always see those cringy posts that say like unlock and unleash, and they have all these emojis and it doesn't look natural. That's what they're doing. We're not going to have you do that. So depending on when you join the Graham Guild, if you're in towards the beginning, you're building this thing with me, right? That's one of the amazing things. And so you're going to be getting a little more personalized support, maybe some bonus one-on-one or small group coaching that people who join later on won't get. But it is weird sometimes when you're in there and it's empty, but I just want to let you know what you can expect, what's going to be built over time. So story scrolls. Instagram stories are a really important feature on Instagram because they are seen by your followers. And in fact, when we look at consumer behavior and how people use Instagram, some people don't scroll reels. They don't just look at their explore page. They don't really look at their feed. They use Instagram to keep in touch and follow up with people they already follow and love and know. So your stories are an opportunity to connect with those people, to have them connect to your brand, for them to see your work, for more exposure to you. And because of the different stickers and features inside of Instagram stories, it's also a really good place to sell and convert followers into leads, which means subscribers that they're getting on your email list, and or getting them to buy stuff, especially if you have low ticket offers, if you have an online shop on Teachers Pay Teachers, on Etsy, on Amazon KDP, if you're an author with ebooks, if you have digital products that are really low ticket, if you have a mini membership or a low cost membership. Story stickers are a great place for you. That's going to be a really big part of your strategy. So I want you to highlight that there and just say, even if you're at the beginning of the early stages and you've gone through all the content, asking yourself each day, how can I show up on stories today? Because stories are only available for 24 hours and you have to be strategic. The good thing is though, you can use stories and turn them into a funnel using highlights. So when you go on someone's profile and you see those little bubbles on someone's profile, when you see those, that is a mini funnel in itself. If they've set it up that way, and we're going to set it up that way, you can just see from here really quickly, you can tell what I'm about, what you can learn from me, what you can, it's quick value for somebody so they know what they can get. It's also good for me though. So for example, Card Rex, okay? This is leading to an affiliate link. All right, so there we go. So I have one sale I could possibly convert someone on. That's just one example. I have TikTok videos. So if someone doesn't know I am on TikTok, they could go follow me there, or they could just go watch my videos here on Instagram if they don't have a TikTok account. So it's just more value for them. So I just want you to be paying attention to that. These features are all here for a reason. They all have an intentional purpose, and we want to use them for the designed purpose that they are there for. So in this story scroll bank, you're going to get a whole bunch of ideas of how you can strategically use stories so that you can convert followers into subscribers and then into customers as well. And then finally, although finally with an asterisk because there's always more, but is the Graham Grimoire. So you can think of this like a library. Anytime I create a template, because this is how I work, I just get a burst of energy and I'll get a rush of ideas and I just create, and I will be adding those Instagram things in here for you. So anything I create that is aligned with the guild. So for example, if I create a batch of templates about that don't involve showing your face, I'm going to throw them up here and give them to the Graham Guild because you guys are paying an ongoing membership and I want to thank you for that. So I intend to add in a whole bunch of bonus stuff on top of what I already mentioned above and in addition to what I'm going to be mentioning later. I'm also building out a bot in-member closed AI tool that will help be your social media content coach whenever I or someone else is not available, and you can use it to go back and forth. Just stay tuned on that, more details to come. So your quest, should you choose to accept it, is to grow your following on Instagram without showing your face. And I'm sure that if you're here, you've already decided that. You're going to get access to a content vault filled with templates, tutorials, ideas for faceless content, an ever-growing library of prompts for AI so you can sound different and like yourself. You're going to have a whole bunch of mini tutorials that will give you quick wins so that you learn how to use Instagram's features and even third-party tools that align with that, because I know one big thing that trips people up is the tech. And so once you really understand how to use the platform and how to use the features, you're already miles ahead of someone who doesn't. I want to talk about the community portion of the membership because I can understand that if you're used to doing things on your own, or if you're wanting to do a faceless brand, you might be thinking, does this mean I have to do it on my own? No, you don't. We have these monthly audit calls that you can come on. We'll hang out as members. I will also be doing a live audit of your Instagram, of any content that you want for me to review and give feedback on. So we'll have that live call once a month. So you'll have the community aspect and be able to talk to other people who get it. And you don't even have to have your camera on if you want to keep your camera off of that too. The purpose of the Graham Guild Instagrams. This is a private account, all right? And in case you didn't know, a private account means that the feed information does not show up unless you're following them and they accept your follow. The Graham Guild is a private account, meaning you can see the bio, you can see the link and stuff once that's added, but you won't be able to see any of the content until you go to follow it. You're going to get a form as part of your onboarding. You're going to answer some questions for me. You're going to share some information about your Instagram, where it's at, so that way I can go and do a little dive on it and give you some feedback and quick wins right away. And then one of the first things you'll be doing, if you haven't done this already, is you're going to go and follow this account and then see how it says requested. So what'll happen is me or one of my helpers, we will go into the account, we will see who it is, we'll make sure that the handle is the name of the account right here, which is like when you say at someone's name. I'll make sure that matches the onboarding form, just like how when someone verifies your email address, and we'll get you added. And that will be the main communication tool for the community for one-on-one help. So the cool thing about this membership really is the one-on-one asynchronous coaching aspect, which I don't really see anyone else doing, but this will be really easy to access. So once you're accepted, you'll be able to say you have a quick question, like you're on Instagram, you're trying to create content, you can't figure it out. You can send a DM to the Graham Guild and someone will respond to you. Now, it may not be right away, right? It may be like a day or two, depending on when you message. We'll send you a video message. We'll send you an audio recording walking you through something. We'll send you a pep talk. We'll send you instructions via text, whatever it is you need on the Instagram app, so you don't have to go and learn something else, because you're already going to be learning how to use Instagram. So that'll just be another way for you to practice what you're learning. You can make sure that you are in the right place. And if you're not in the right place, then we can make sure we get you into a separate offer that's better for you. So this membership really is for you if you're sick of wasting time with short form video. Now, short form video might be helpful to you, but maybe the way you've been trying to do it, if you've been trying to do it like a content creator or an influencer, and that's not something you want to do, it makes sense that you haven't been successful, because you're going to find ways to avoid it since you don't really want to do it. So we're going to talk about ways to make short form video and use that if you want to, that doesn't involve showing your face. This is for you. If you don't want to share your private life, you don't want to live your life online. In fact, you'd like to really move yourself off of the computer, off the screen more. That's who this is for. This is also great for you if you want to eventually sell your brand or business, which we mentioned earlier, and if you have no desire to be an influencer. Now, if you are interested in being an influencer, this is something that I work with people one-on-one with in a completely different capacity. So you can just send me a DM on Instagram at Brittany Verlanich. Let me go back to that here so you can see what that is. So Instagram.com/Brittany Verlanich. Send me a DM and say, hey, I actually do want to be an influencer. What do you got for me? And I will help you out if you love this sound of evergreen social media or just not having to be on here that much. But if you are like me, if you love creating reels and TikToks, if you're a ham like me who loves the limelight, if you are interested in collaborating with brands and maybe you feel at home on a stage and you do want a business that's built around you and who you are, then this would not be the best membership for you. And I'd want to make sure I put you into an offer that makes more sense. But if you're like, this is me, then yes, you are in the right place. The Graham Guild was built for you. In case you didn't have a chance to review the frequently asked questions, we're going to go through those now. And I'm not going to read them all out because I know that you can read, but I just want to highlight some of the most important things. One being, can you really build a brand on Instagram without showing your face? Yes, you can, absolutely. One of the reasons I built this membership was because I know that not everybody is going to be able to afford to hire a social media manager, to hire a strategist, to hire a virtual assistant right now. And so I'm taking what has already worked with my one-on-one clients and I'm just making that to the masses so I can get as many people growing their businesses on Instagram as possible without having to show their faces. You might have been wondering though, is this going to work for your business? Because this is not ideal for every business, right? If you have a personal brand, this isn't for you. And it is possible, I should say this, it is possible to do brand collaborations and not show your face. If they love your following and you have an engaged audience, it doesn't matter who you are. Actually, let me show you some accounts just to show you that you can do it. And I wish I'd had this prepared because there are some other people that I just didn't write them down yet. But this is a great account, Teacher Misery, okay? You might even be following them. Look at that, almost 500,000 followers, okay? So they're definitely doing pretty well. They have a podcast and you'll see, you're just going through it. There is no personal branding from the person who owns the account. They reshare, like Nicholas Ferroni is a teacher influencer. They reshare other things. They know their audience so well. They know what their teachers want to hear. They share things that are unbelievable, that are funny. It's all about knowing your audience and knowing exactly how you want to come up and what kind of content you want to create, okay? So you can be known for just your words and your work if you want to. So Lise is a business coach I really admire. I'm in her Digital Income Accelerator. And even though she does show her face a little bit, she does have a YouTube channel, she also is not online creating all the time on Instagram. And you can just see right now, she has a static grid, a static meaning this is it. It does not change. And sometimes she'll create content on stories. Sometimes she'll create reels. Let's go to the reels tab and look. Okay, so she does show her face sometimes, but it's not a core part of her business. It's not how she's getting discovered. And she's focused a lot more on SEO, on her blog, on YouTube. And really this is like a nurturing place for her. So after they go to her YouTube channel, after they get on her email list, she has her funnel set up so that they find out about her Instagram and then they go and follow her if you want. If you were listening and you can't see the example, the one I was just talking about is Lise Cartwright. So Lisecart. Actually, you know what? I'll just put everything in I'll just make sure I have everything in the episode description. And then the other one was just Teacher Misery. So that's another thing too. If you haven't created an Instagram account yet, the easier you can make it to spell and say, that's just good anyway, because then if you ever get on a podcast, if you ever get interviewed or something saying, hey, go follow Teacher Misery, if we know how to spell, it's pretty easy to do. So some of you might be wondering, can you still get what you need out of the Graham Guild if your main income stream is affiliate marketing, or if that's one of your core income streams? And yes, you can. It's just going to be a different approach. I do demonstrate my skills and stuff too, but I also have built trust with people following me. So my personal brand is a big part of that. But you are going to be making it a little bit different. You're going to be talking about how you can demonstrate skills and they will be trusting you that way. Okay? It's a completely different approach. So we will be talking about that in here. Does it work for TPT sellers and Amazon, Etsy? Yes, absolutely. For service providers, but depends on the service. But definitely travel agents, website designers, graphic designers, copywriters, definitely, for sure. Okay, how is it different? It's just a different approach, right? We're talking about our words and our work here. This is good for you to know. So I am not an ads expert. My account was restricted from running ads like 4 years ago. So I have not been able to build my business around ads, but I do have some lovely people I know who are fantastic with both Facebook and Instagram ads. If you'd like their referrals, and I am going to see if I can get them to come in the future, probably not at the beginning. It's probably going to be a while because I want to make sure that you really focus on your messaging because that is free, but it's the most important thing. If you don't know what kind of value you have to show up and provide, if you don't know what you want your brand and your business focused around, then throwing more money and traffic at it is not really going to help. You need to really nail that messaging piece first, and we really have to nail organic social media use so that way we can leverage any paid ads. Another question I get is, if you don't know anything about Instagram, what can you do? Will you get anything out of this? Actually, you have more to gain than anybody else. If you know absolutely nothing about Instagram, if you've never used the platform for marketing before, then you're actually in a great place doing this from step one instead of having to come back and retrain yourself and unlearn all these really unhelpful things. We don't have any success stories or testimonials yet as of when I'm recording this, although I guess I'll have to go back and change that when I do have some. If you have a really great win, we want to know about it too, not just for a testimonial to share for marketing, but we also want to celebrate you. So how long can you expect to work before you see results? This depends on so many things, like where you are when you start, how consistent are you, how are you able to dedicate, how much capacity do you have? As far as how much time investment is required from you, it's going to take more time at first, and that's for anything. Just like when you were first learning how to create your offers, write a book, whatever it is that you do, it took more time at the beginning and probably more time than you thought, right? That's just how it is for everything. So it will take you more time at first for sure, which is to be expected. I would say put aside 1 to 2 hours a week to get the hang of it all. Go ahead and block out some time on your calendar now, set some reminders on Google Calendar so you don't forget, and make sure that you attend the things that we have going on, the things that are annual, quarterly, monthly, weekly. We have so many different ways for you to interact with us and the content and the community. Is there a trial period or a money back guarantee? No, there isn't. And honestly, straight up, the reason why is because if I was to have someone do that for as big as this membership I intended for it to get, like for I anticipated getting, I would have to charge more to be able to pay that person to be able to go and remove and add people. And it's just too much. But it is low risk. As of right now, it's We have the price up on the screen. So we have it low for a reason, affordable for a reason, because I want for this to help as many people as possible. The program content is going to be delivered very easily in here. I'm going to show you where to go in a second, but we are practicing what we're preaching here. So all of the content in here is going to be faceless. That means it's going to be heavy on audio. The video is going to use any necessary visual aids to better communicate the idea. You will get notifications via email, so make sure you keep an eye on your inbox. We will also communicate via the Graham Guild Instagram chat, and then eventually when we do get enough members and followers, we should get the broadcast channel, which we can also communicate with you there. So email with the Instagram chat, and then down the road, if we hear feedback from you that we need something else, we'll do that. The content itself will be delivered monthly, right? So like I said, email. So you have this portal here, which again, this might look different depending on when you see it, but this is a very simple deliverable method of each month you're going to get something that looks like this. You'll have all the emails and stuff, all of it, so it's in one place, and you will get all the names of the lessons here. You'll get links to the videos here, any resources or templates here. If you see something else, like a different icon, like maybe you'll see a mic if it's a podcast episode, or you might see like a little memo note if it's a template. You might see a phone thing if it's something like for ManyChat. So just keep an eye on your inbox. That's going to be the main way of me giving you updates, but also the Graham Guild as far as you communicating with us. I hope that's super clear. And we also have monthly support things. So be sure to keep an eye on this box because this link will take you directly to the Zoom event, all of that. So make sure you keep an eye on that because we do meet every month. And I want to make sure you don't forget, because one of the biggest things, just like having a gym membership, is then you get access to all this training and all these resources, and then you don't use it. So definitely keep an eye on your inbox. We'll be sending weekly updates via email, and we'll send something out like this once a month for that month. When you're a member for January, you get the January one. When you're a member for February, you get the February one. And so that means as long as you're a member, you're going to have all of the sheets and all the resources that were made linked in your inbox. Let's talk about the different things you can expect as far as annual, quarterly. Okay, so every year we're hosting a summit called Grow the Gram. This is very different than other online summits because this is not a speaker roster where people come to grow their email list and sell you stuff. Although they might give you a freebie, they're actually going to be paid. I might even invite you to come and be paid to speak and talk about what you're doing on Instagram right now with your faceless content that's working. And the really cool thing is, as a member of the Graham Guild, you're going to get a free VIP pass. They're going to be $97 to the public, but free for you. So that's really cool. So anytime we have a guest expert that's going to be speaking at the summit, if they're doing something special for the participants, you get access to that for free. We are hosting bundles specifically about growing your following on Instagram. So each quarter will have a slightly different focus, and the members of the Graham Guild get the VIP bundle for free. The VIP versions will have sessions for collaborating and networking. I'm going to be helping with that as well. And so you'll have an opportunity to do faceless collaborations, so that way you can help each other grow your own following and you can work with other people in your niches. Monthly, we have those live monthly content audits that I mentioned earlier, and we do have them on a calendar so you can add those to your Google Calendar. You'll be able to get live feedback from me. I'll look at your Instagram grid. I'll look at your profile and your bio, your calls to action, all that jazz. And the good thing about it is you're going to get that in-time coaching, and other people are going to learn from you getting coached, and you'll learn from others getting coached. So it'll be really great over time. And as we grow over time, more quality coaches will join us. Weekly, we're going to have engagement challenges to reward those who are implementing what they're learning. You're also going to find member-led co-working and content batching sessions to make sure that all these content resources that you're getting access to actually get used and scheduled on Instagram. Daily, via the Instagram Guild chat, you'll be able to get daily encouragement, pick-me-ups, and you'll be able to get your questions answered quickly. So you'll be able to literally just DM me once you're accepted and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you help? If we do have someone live at the moment, we'll help you right there in real time. And if not, you can just leave a really detailed message of what you're struggling with, or if it's a mindset thing, what you need a pep talk on, and we will get back to you. This is going to sound a little bit harsh, but if you haven't heard my opinions on this, I really do think having social media presence is no longer negotiable. It really is required. Now, we do get to choose which platforms we show up on, how we show up, which features we're using and how, but it's not an option as far as whether or not we're going to be on social media. I think that's a given. We need to be there. But since you do get to choose how, it's just about learning how to use a strategy that's aligned with you. And so that is where the Graham Guild comes in. And that is why you're here, to get that exponential growth, to grow your following without showing your face,